Yeah, Eddie Hearn joins us. Now look at Darren Barker getting the mic from as well. Well done. Would it stretch enough? Hopefully it does. Maybe Eddie's got to come a bit closer. Eddie, I always love your back and forths with Derek Chisora.
Well, you just never know.
You handled it well. You never know what
it's quite a libelous occasion. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can't really take it. He's like, he just said in the, they just did a head-to-head with Washington.
What did he say?
And then I said face-to-face. Washington went like this. And Derek went, where are you going? He went, I told you you're going to run. And he's like, because they're quite pally. It's like, yeah, nice one, Derek. And he went, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And Washington sort of went, ha. He went, no, I'm serious. And he's just,
What do you think the plan is, for that fight? Where does the winner go? Because they're so
far. By the way, at that stage, you've got to understand that both guys, it's not about world championship ambitions. It's about keeping the bus rolling and landing a big fight, right? Chisora's always got the ability to do that, but all of a sudden, Washington would have got the fight against AJ if he had a good win recently, or if he was active or whatever. So if all of a sudden, if he beats Derek Chisora, he can fight any British heavyweight, certainly, and all of a sudden he's in for a big heavyweight fight in America. So all of these guys, and Helenius on another level to that, are thinking, there's multi-million pound paydays out there for me in this division. Obviously for Helenius, but even for Washington, one good win against Chisora, he lands himself a massive fight. And by the way, Washington's decent. Yeah. He's in great shape. He's an athlete. Malik Scott messaged me when Dillian Whyte was out of the fight, just basically saying, we've trained non-stop. He's had a great camp, super fit. Please give us the fight. I promise you, we won't disappoint. We're in good shape. So, I think they're looking at the fight, and I think you'd agree, we beat Chisora. Yeah. All we have to do, and there's no secret, you don't want to stand and have a fight with Chisora, you want to box him. And that's what Washington is actually good at. Yeah. Chisora's going to have to chase him around a little bit and try and cut him off. But sooner or later, Washington can punch as well. And you do start thinking about Del and how is that punch resistant after a tough career. But you also know he's tough as old boots. Yeah. And if they didn't stop the fight against Tyson Fury, he would have gone all night. Do you know what I mean? So, but you don't want to see him take punishment like that. And people keep talking about, do you think he should still be fighting? At this level, where he's a favourite in a fight, I don't have an issue with it. Do you know what I mean? He says he didn't put himself in the hat for Anthony Joshua. He definitely put himself in the hat for Anthony Joshua because he'll fight anyone. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But this level, if you get beat here, I think it's time where you start I don't want to say it too loud because I don't want him to watch this back, but you have to start thinking about hanging him up.
Yeah, it's difficult. Me and Darren were talking about sort of his losses of recent. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Joseph Parker. There's no shame in any of those defeats. And look at Usyk and the Parker ones, he went points with them. So you kind of don't know where he is. I think on Saturday we'll find out.
Yeah,
exactly
the danger of defeat to Washington, who's still a good fighter, but it's not Usyk and it's not Fury. Yeah. So it's almost like, okay, so what do? You drop down.
Really don't want to drop below this level, does he?
No, and you can't. But also the money that he wants to get paid, and jokes aside about Skills Challenge and Prince Khalid, he is part of the team, so he will be looked after in that respect. But at the same time, it's not going to happen forever. So he has to win on Saturday night.
There was a lot of talk about Filip Hrgović versus Andy Ruiz Jr. Right, that was the talk. Purse bids seemed as though Andy Ruiz's team pulled him from that. Dempsey McKean steps up, chance of a lifetime. And his story, again, like most boxers, is incredible. Came over here in 2021, went to Tony Sims's gym, looks in really good shape as well, looks better as a fighter. But this is a big step up for him.
Massive step up. I love the fight because you have Hrgović, who is coming off a poor performance against a good fighter in Zhang, got the win. Obviously his father passed away, he had some tough times leading up to that fight, but no excuses going into this one. I don't know, you get a fighter like Filip Hrgović, who, don't forget, probably 10 years ago, this guy was over sparring with David Haye and Deontay Wilder, and the word from the gym is, this kid is unbelievable. He is the next or future world heavyweight champion. Sometimes you can go a little bit stale. Yeah. This is his first fight in a year again, and before that fight with Zhang, he was inactive as well. It's a tough position when you're mandatory and you're not getting that fight. Sometimes you become inactive, and that can cost you. Dempsey McKean, I promise, is fit as a fiddle. Yeah. And I tell you what, he's a good fighter. He's a smart fighter. What he must do is get through those first 3 or 4 rounds of the fight, because Hrgović is horrible. He walks you down. He's got a massive right hand. He's technically sound. but he did struggle against the southpaw of Zhang.
That's the question,
and Dempsey is awkward. He's very fit as well. And if he can get into the fight, I just saw, again, it might be because of the personal issues going into that fight, just saw a few little sulks from Hrgović when it didn't go his way. Do you know what I mean? Got to frustrate him, got to hit him from angles, get him to 6, 7, 8 rounds, start working him. Dempsey's engine's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Done a lot of rounds with Dubois and people like that, takes hammer as well. And if he's tough enough, because he's never boxed anywhere near this level before, because this is the absolute elite level of the division, if he's good enough, he can win this fight, and if he does.
Was there ever any talks of Philip or Dempsey fighting AJ?
You know what? No, really.
Just because that fight was there.
People presume a couple of reasons. Number one is Filip Hrgović has trained 9-10 weeks for a southpaw, so all he's had is southpaw sparring. I know it's easier to switch back to an orthodox, but number two is he's got the world heavyweight title shot.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is beat Dempsey McKean, and he's immediately mandated to fight for the world heavyweight title. And I think the money you would have had to pay Hrgović, and I don't mind saying as well, Hrgović is a very good fighter. I'm not over the moon about AJ fighting Hrgović on 6 days' notice either. He was fine with it, but no one ever communicated with anyone. His team didn't come on. Dempsey's a southpaw, so that was the problem there. I think Dempsey.
And then what did you do with Dempsey as well?
Yeah, but I think, we talk about maybe Dempsey as an opponent for AJ, but of course him being a southpaw made no sense at all. Like, I wanted Washington came on for the fight, Del Boy came onto the fight, Andy Ruiz didn't really come onto the fight, but posted about it on Instagram. Manuel Char came on for the fight. I just looked at Helenius, and especially when he sent me a message after his win on Saturday night, and I thought, in camp, just box, no excuses, 6'9", tall, stand up, can punch a bit, will let his hands go. Perfect preparation for Deontay Wilder, I think, as well. And a good fight, solid
just
fight.
As we're talking about the main event now, is it a little bit, though, with Helenius, a kind of a no-win situation?
They all are.
Yeah, true. I know what you're saying. The only reason I say that is because it makes for a great fight, because he's got to go out there, I think, AJ, and he's got to be destructive and he's got to get the finish. It's just because Wilder's done him in one round.
But before Dillian Whyte accepted this fight, and we didn't actually think he would, but great that he did, unfortunately, with the news. But actually, from there, the interesting thing is that Helenius and Kabayel were the two options if we didn't fight him. Both had agreed terms, actually, for the fight. But AJ was kind of like with Helenius, but Wilder stopped him early. Like, I can't really get any credit for that. But actually now it's like, don't worry about that. It's about preparation. You're not going to do it faster than Wilder, so don't worry about that. The only thing that scares me is, last time we had a fighter pull out of a fight with Anthony Joshua on a failed drugs test was Andy Ruiz. And of course, that didn't go too well. And all of that fight week, all that was spoken about, if you remember, was Deontay Wilder and the negotiations. And you're fighting Wilder if you beat Andy Ruiz. It's kind of like, there's so many deja vus here, I don't even want to talk about it. So I don't care how the victory comes. I just want him to go out and enjoy himself. Yeah. Because honestly, he seems so happy with his career, with his training, with his mindset. And he was so excited to do a job on Dillian Whyte. Now he's got to do the job on Helenius. Different style. It's not easy, switching up against a smaller fighter that likes to cross his arms and shoulder roll a little bit to a big stand-up 6'9" heavyweight. Yeah. No excuses though. You've got to go through these guys, and I think you're going to see a great performance from Anthony on Saturday.
Yeah, and very quickly, the chief support's a good one as well. Very good. We've mentioned it already, but to see Chisora again in action, Gerald Washington. What do you make of Chisora? I think he looks in great shape. There's some pictures of him here now. Looks in great shape, doesn't he?
In great shape. Yeah, terrible.
I don't know what he's wearing. I actually thought it was Louis Vuitton. I thought it was, but it clearly isn't.
But we don't know what we're going to get from Derek. One thing I will tell you is it's a 50-50 fight. Yeah, I really believe that. We don't know where Derek's at. We never know where Derek's at. I don't think he knows where he's at. He just rocks up and goes to war. And also a shout out to, honestly, a brilliant heavyweight fight. I know it's only the Southern Area heavyweight title, but Johnny Fisher against Harry Armstrong. Really good fight. Like, so many unanswered questions about Johnny Fisher. Like, he's super fit. He's got a great chin. He's got fast hands. He can punch. But Harry Armstrong,
he really fancies this.
Yeah, he does. They called it.
I said his whole life, and this is his thing.
But also, you know what? I said to Johnny Fisher, they went, "We want the Southern Area title. We want Harry Armstrong." I said, "I don't like the fight because the guy always fights on short notice. You want to give him 8 weeks' notice. You want to give him the opportunity of a lifetime. He's super fit." Harry Armstrong now, right? But he's one of those durable heavyweights. We'll go 10 rounds, no problem. Yeah. We saw with Matty Harris the other week, go 4 or 5 rounds, couldn't stand up. Yeah. If you're letting those hands go like Johnny Fisher, you see it with AJ in the early part of his career. All of a sudden, through 5 or 6 rounds, the lactic acid has just built up, and
real
it's like
toughness because that Jamie TKB
on short notice as well.
He's moving, he's
I know.
peppering him with the jab. It's like
6'6", like that's a real tough fight. And by the way, Campbell Hatton ain't got an easy one either. Finally in with someone that really comes to fight and boxed at English title level as well. So cracking undercard on Saturday night, and of course, unbelievably, I'm still getting over having to say not on pay-per-view, which is unbelievable for subscribers. Genuinely, I mean, the value of this card, and of course the value of Anthony Joshua not on pay-per-view. Congratulations. I can't tell you it'll last forever, but congratulations to the wonderful DAZN subscribers who continue to watch the very best schedule in the sport.